So, Trump gets blamed for everything, which is a bit convenient now for our leadership.
Let's watch some crazy stuff, yo! Jeez, Rick, oh my God!
Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Right then, so let's talk about Trump and his tariffs, shall we? Because, of course, this is causing huge consternation with those on the left who hate everything Trump does, irrespective of what he does. I mean, to be fair, with the left offer, Trump could actually discover the cure for cancer and they'd still hate him because Orange Man bad. He's also upsetting the elites and the establishment and corporations because he's trying to dismantle globalization, which we'll talk about in another video, probably one in the studio because it's a lot more in depth. And then, of course, he's upsetting the sheep who get all their information from the mainstream media and less educated or intelligent people. Now, as I said, we'll discuss the actual implications of what he's doing in another video. But what we'll do is we'll look at how nicely convenient this is for our current leadership, and something that you need to be aware of. If you've got somebody who's absolutely 100% convinced that the reason this country's going to go down the toilet pan is Donald Trump and his tariffs, show them this video, because this country was already dying economically before Trump's tariffs come in, and it was dying because of the ineptitude, or should we say even now complete idiotic behaviour of our Chancellor and our Prime Minister, because they are doing what Labour do best, what they've always done best, which is come up with lunatic ideas and no real idea of how it works, the impact it will have, or anything else. It just looks good on paper, and as long as it looks good on paper, they're all good. But now, of course, because of Trump and his tariffs, they have their... So I got something stuck in my teeth. I do apologise. They do have their get out of jail free card, because everything will now just be blamed on Trump. Every economic collapse, failure, etc. will be because of Trump and his tariffs. So that will then at least replace it's because of Brexit, which is another thing that gets blamed for absolutely everything, when in reality most of the failures have nothing to do with Brexit whatsoever. But of course, as with all narcissists, it always has to be somebody else to blame, because it's just easier that way. Why take responsibility for your own screw-ups when you could just blame it on something else? It doesn't even matter if it's not even remotely linked to whatever's failed. Oh, well, it's because of Brexit. Oh, well, it's because of the Conservatives. Now it'll be, oh, well, it's because of Trump and his tariffs. Now, the frightening thing is, if things are, and the news things are to be believed, we could have had a really good deal with Donald Trump. But he was insistent that there had to be a restoration to the freedoms of speech in this country. Of course, our dictator would not agree to that, and you get what you get. Now, to me, Mrs. G struggles to understand it, and I understand it with a lot of people. It's difficult to understand. But if you break it down into its succinct parts, which is the following: when there was an election in the United States of America, they voted for a man who said, America first. I am going to put this country first. And that is exactly what he's doing. Donald Trump is doing exactly what he said he would do, what he promised he would do, and is doing in a very simple, succinct, and effective way. For far too long have people taken advantage of America and tariffed American goods to the hilt, which of course no one really cares about because, well, why would you? It's not affecting us. Tariffs have been imposed by countries on other countries since money was invented. But it's only now, when Trump does it, that it's a bad thing. So, the tariffs are going to affect us in a significant way. Now, some people are saying, oh, the stock market's crashing. He didn't expect that. He knew exactly what he was doing when he did this. He knew exactly what the response would be from the corporations who don't like this. So, what he's doing now, he's doing and putting America. He owes us nothing. Not a thing. He doesn't owe us anything. The opportunity was there, but we decided to not go against it. Now, apparently, so it's heard on the grapevine, the EU offered America a 0-0 trade deal. Now, a lot of people will go, well, that sounds like a good idea. But in reality, it isn't, because it means that America gains nothing. You see, for a 0-0 trade deal to work correctly, you would need to be crossing over roughly the same amount of goods either way. But it isn't like that. A lot goes that way towards America, but not so much comes back the other way. So that would mean, in that situation, America would lose out. Plus, also, you have to understand that the statement that the EU offered a 0-0 was said way after. And that's just them trying to play political brinkmanship, and it doesn't work. So, if you have to explain it to people, it's this nothing to do with Trump. What's happening in this country economically has nothing to do with Trump whatsoever. It's just the icing on the cake, what would be the best way to describe it. Everything that's going wrong in our economy has been done by this government, by a chancellor who can't add up, who lied, who told lies and lies and lies, who swore blind she was an economics student, an economist of the highest order, when in reality she made cups of coffee at Halifax. But then again, we also have our Prime Minister, who is the biggest liar of all. In fact, the whole Labour Party are just a bunch of liars. But the simple truth of the matter is, on the 7th of April was when the new tax law fully kicked in. And I said before this happened, when this was announced, that I predict in 6 months' time there'll be another 1 million people unemployed. I think it might be higher than that, because this doesn't help business. For him to stand at Jaguar Land Rover on the 7th, say, and with hair by Lego Reeves, and to turn around and say we've got businesses back, when in fact they've made it even worse for businesses by just crippling them, is hypocrisy and lunacy, and shows the clowns that are in charge right now. This country will economically fail because of them, not because of Trump, although that's what will be blamed. In fact, an awful lot of it was being blamed on Trump for some things, which was clever because the dates of those things they were blaming was before Trump took power. So you can see how it's going to be. Everything that goes wrong now in the world is because of Orange Man Bad. Because that's it. That's the easy thing to blame. And unfortunately, millions of sheeple will do that because the box on the telly tells them it's bad. Is it going to hurt us? A little bit. But let's be honest, be realistic. If you really genuinely look, how many goods do you buy that are actually American made? Someone will go, Nike. Yeah, but they're not made in America. They're made in Taiwan, to be fair. The same with all the other shoe shops and stuff and clothing, or your Adidas and all that. They're not made in the United States. You have to really, really think hard and look. Tell me anything that you buy that's actually made in the United States of America. I mean, I've sit and drive in a Hyundai, or a Hyundai, depending on which way it says. This car, I'm not sure which one, isn't even made in Japan. This is either made in the Czech Republic or Turkey, like most of your tellies that you're probably watching this on. You see, when you break it down to what a country itself produces, which can have the made in actual stamp, that's actually, like for here, that's actually British owned and actually made in England, in Britain, not that many goods, to be fair. And you'll find that you will struggle to find an American one equally. So in reality, you say, well, okay, let's boycott American things. So let's boycott McDonald's. You see, McDonald's is always done as a franchise. It's not actually McDonald's you're damaging. It's the franchise owner. The same with your Starbucks and all that. They are done as franchises. So you're not actually damaging America in any way, shape or form. You see, you'll do that because big magic box on wall tells you to, without understanding anything. So get ready for Trump is to blame for everything. And in reality, if you use your brain, you know the damage has already been done before he'd even announced the tariffs. Any case, 2 videos coming up at the end of this. One will be the last one I uploaded. The other one will be the one that the gods of YouTube, using their mighty algorithm, which hates me but likes you, will give a choice for you. And it's called The Chosen One. If you like what I'm doing, agree with what I'm doing, saying, whatever, just hit the subscribe button. That's the ultimate. Just subscribing is great. It really is. As in the liking, the sharing, and the multiple attempts that you will make to make a comment to get on here, that eventually YouTube, for whatever reason, will let you get one of them in. I'm sorry it annoys me as much. It makes my blood boil. It really does. Because I'm in the same boat as you. I follow people. I try and make comments, and they disappear. There are multiple ways that you can support the channel. But that is only if you can and only if you want to. I'm not making anybody do anything they don't want to do. And with that, I am done. So, until the next one.
What the fuck is this?